What is up, guys? It's your boy Jim Rat Crypto, live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern with my co-host Sam Stolt. And today we have a very special guest, guys. I was just doing some light reading for everyone that doesn't know. A friend of the show, Jack Levin. I don't know if I say your last name right. Everyone says I say it wrong. But he originally came into the Hex community and started speaking some pretty awesome truths. And then we all found out, this guy was involved in Google the 21st employee, I think I remember correctly. And ever since then, I've been inviting this guy on the show and talking to him just as friends. I just want to learn from guys that punch hard, like I don't want to learn from guys that say they punch hard. Jack doesn't do too much saying. Like, he's not the first guy who's going to tell you what I'm the best at this and I'm the best at this because look, I'm so freaking awesome and look how rich I am and I have this many cars. It's like, bro, that's not that hard. You could scam people into 3 Lamborghinis, like not that hard. But at the same time, you could change the world for the right reasons and have respect and dignity. And some guys search for that because that's the only thing that excites them. Jack, I can imagine Jack's not excited by scamming a bunch of people and making $10 million. That would probably make him rather upset, frankly. So think about this, guys. It's not always about money. And that's why I start with the founder. It's a huge piece to me. Who is this no-name founder that's talking to me on the internet with a picture of a dog? Who knows? But he copy and pasted some code and he wants to take credit for millions and millions of US dollars. And that's not crypto. That's not how this is going to change the world. We need guys that are thinking about changing the world before they can even do it. That's what their motivation is. And that's where I like to start products. And that's why I'll mention real quick, Hedron, which I was not giving financial advice to anyone about, but I was telling everyone that I was DCAing myself over the last 3 months, has done a 16x in price action since that moment. And when I traded my Pulse Doge and told everyone that that's not the asset I personally am going to buy at $4.20, which was free, by the way, this is what you can do in crypto. I was given my Pulse Doge for free. I sold it for, I think, a little over $1,000 or something. And then I swapped it all for Hedron, something with product market fit, tradable stakes, amazing tokenomics, great founder. And the dude that planned all of this learned from what Richard did. And he added stuff. He didn't copy and paste. He added. All right. So that was a Hex derivative in particular. But you know what I'm saying? We were all over that 15, 16X. GRC's shoulders are slumped for the next few months. I'll tell you that. I feel great. I feel like I could pay the bills for another 3 or 4 months and just stream all day, which is really what I like to do. So guys, I'm going to invite Jack and Sam on Quick Crypto in the Morning. DeFi Proof's the official rapper. And I'm going to be live 3 times today, guys. So I want you to put those notifications on. I just passed 3,000 subs, 168 days, guys. We're pushing hard, guys. Let's pump this algo, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some Hex and I'm making a stake. Got me some Hedron, I'm making it rain. Pay me some Maxi and that just in case. Jim Reddit sent me to show you the way. Crypto in the morning. 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 Crypto in the morning.
Yo, what's good? I'm looking forward to this episode. You called me this morning and you're like, we've got a special guest today who's coming out with a project, and it's for the community, taking into consideration all of what crypto is here for, right? Like no admin keys, or just not necessarily no admin keys. I don't know the semantics of it, but taking into the ethos of like decentralization and crypto, I was like, oh, I'm all in. Let's get into this episode. Also,
fair distribution or not, I want in early.
the Hedron thing is absolutely bananas right now. Tomorrow we can talk about that in
This
more
is what
depth.
Hedron's doing to me all day long. You see goosebumps on my arm? This is created by sometimes cold weather and sometimes dopaminergic reaction. I am actually having physical dopamine reactions. I'm not kidding. I'm trying to show everyone how crypto works, because the first time this happened to me, I didn't make a penny off of it. And I had all that, and I never sold. And that's why I said today I'd love to take 10% off. Whatever, just learning, changing, growing.
Yep.
I want to talk to Jack now.
There he is.
Hey guys, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
Great.
I am good. Just came back from Europe, ready to work.
Hell yeah. How was your trip in Europe? Your camera and your lighting and your sound looks excellent.
Thank you. The trip was great. Ireland was amazing. People are so friendly. Love their accents. Just everything was awesome. Just been eating great food, checking out the wildlife, and doing all kinds of interesting things in Ireland.
Can you? I'm glad you had a great time. I haven't been there yet. But I'd like to at some point. Can you give people just a quick elevator type pitch, a minute or 2 minutes on you? Because we've chatted before. You obviously GRC had chatted before multiple times, but there's probably several people who will either watch this or are watching this who don't know who you are or how you got into the community. So we start with that?
And they probably think you're 31 years old by the way you look. And I'm not saying that but you've got kids, you look extremely healthy, by the way. Like out of this world healthy right now, and comparatively to when I first saw you. And you look inspired personally. You do look inspired physically. You can see it. And that could be lighting and amazing camera work too. But yes, please tell the people in here, what's your claim to fame? Why are you here? Your involvement in crypto, and some of your involvement in some of the stuff you were doing young when you were punching hard back in the day.
Sure. Well, it is mostly lights, I'm pretty sure. But it's also, traveling and spending time with the family. So that always kind of, I would say, energizing, seeing new things. But anyhow, just a little bit about me. Early Google employee, number 21, met Larry and Sergey at Stanford, joined Google in 1999, worked there for about 6 years. Loved it. Really enjoyed the culture and doing something new and amazing. 2005, quit Google, started my own project called ImageShack.com, which was an image hosting company. After ImageShack, actually it's still running, still pretty impressive website for how long ago it was created. Did a few other things. Ultimately discovered crypto in 2011, 2010 time period. Started mining in my own data center, mined with 120 servers running 3 video cards in each. Mined for about 3 years. Had a blast. Gave most of the Bitcoin away to my friends. Just been giving it out and teaching people how crypto works, what it means. So basically early adopter of new interesting technologies, and can't believe it's 2022. I mean, it's been a minute.
And when did you? At what point did you get into Hex? Because you were into Hex, and from the little bit of green room chat, it sounds like this could actually benefit the Hex community. We didn't talk about it in depth, but your project that you're launching. So when did you get into Hex?
So I got into Hex in, I believe, late April of this year. So fairly recent. I was off Twitter for about 7 years. And then when all those news of Elon Musk buying Twitter kind of came to be, I decided to get back online and discovered they have plenty of followers, 200,000 something followers. Started browsing Twitter, discovered Pulse Chain, asked some of my friends what Pulse Chain is. They told me it's Richard's project. Discovered Hex. Incidentally, got a postcard, Hex doing 38% APY in my mailbox. Looked at it, thought Richard was a scammer. Watched a lot of his videos. Kind of really enjoyed the background that he had, and in terms of a lot of people they were taken, they genuinely would be taken aback from his style. I find it very interesting that he does what he does the way he does it. So that was my curiosity on a human psychological level.
Did you feel that he had information that potentially you didn't know some of, and that, not everything, but just, some people have pieces of information. You're like, I've been in this world for 40 years. No one said it like that. And it makes a lot of sense. I kept connecting because I felt like some of the things he was saying, but it took a while to get through all the smoke screen.
Yes, to some degree. I think what I really liked about it is just the sheer amount of data he was giving out for free, where he didn't have to. And I like the first principles of crypto, specifically self-custody, immutable code, open source, community. So all of those things that I really, really, really liked, and those things resonated with me. And ultimately, I got engaged with the community just incidentally by tweeting about hacks. And I think Crypto Coffee got me on his stream as the first hexagon to interview me. And then afterwards, the ball just started rolling. I think this is my 25th hour streaming in the last 3 months or so, or 2 months maybe.
That's awesome, and it's really started to snowball. How did you come to the idea of planting the seed and then fertilizing it and watching it grow into your project?
And that moment when you decided you wanted to participate in the building process.
Well, actually, believe it or not, it could have been one of you guys' shows. I was watching.
It's probably this show, everybody, just in case.
No, he is saying this show. I think he is saying this show.
I was watching the comments, and we were talking about stuff in blockchain and what it means for the world. And I mean, it could have been longevity talk, I forget. But anyway, the comments were like, when's Jack Coin? I'm like, Jack Coin? Well, it should be pretty simple. So in July, I think, or maybe late June, I have decided that maybe I should come up with the apple cider vinegar coin, just as a joke, because we talk about apple cider vinegar. And then
that was funny as shit for 3 days. I just saw all over Twitter, everyone was making apple cider vinegars with little faces and shit, and making jokes about Jack. It was just totally funny, just fun stuff, all just fun.
Yeah, somebody posted a picture of a refrigerator full of vinegar, and they were like, "Hey, prove a vinegar protocol." And I'm like, "This is great! Prove a vinegar protocol in somebody's refrigerator. This is amazing. I should play with it." So decided to take all of those conversations that I have had for whatever the number of hours I have spent, and embed it into crypto. So everything that I stand for and everything that I said and discussed with you guys, I wanted it to become the crypto itself, token, right? And so I wrote the white paper. The white paper basically covers all of those aspects that we discussed. And I figured, what if that could work? And the major idea was that we all know that Satoshi came up with the Bitcoin white paper originally, and then he kind of disappeared, and nobody knows who he is, and this and that. And I thought, what if everyone could be Satoshi? What if everyone out there could participate in the protocol to literally ICO their own crypto? And when I say ICO, initial coin offering, it sounds like an IPO, and it sounds like the traditional way of launching anything, where you pre-mine or pre-mint a bunch of tokens, and then you sell it for dollars, and then you give a bunch of promises, and you're the central figure, and you pump it, and then you dump it, right? And everybody
It sounds like meme coin stuff. Like for the most part, like that's your classic. Like somebody's going to come up like me and say, I have GRC token. Look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm going to do crazy stuff. And then it kind of is just diluted by the actual value that the distribution was heavily in their favor and then heavily in their friends' favor. And the distribution amount is so hard for people to understand because they don't know backdoor deals. They just don't. They haven't seen enough backdoor deals in their day.
Right.
And if you know about that shit, you're just like, yeah, well, I'll never have as much money as that guy.
Right. And so I thought, what if everything we know about crypto launch, we just do the opposite? Like literally everything's the opposite of it. Number one, no value to start with, starts at zero. And when something starts at zero, the only way is to go up. That is the only way. You cannot go negative from zero.
Oh, you mean starting with the actual unit per US dollar zero?
Exactly.
And that's critical, right? In your opinion?
Well, that is critical because why would anything have value if it doesn't exist?
What if it was a derivative of a product that had value already?
Well, I mean, then it would have some sort of value.
So there's just a little, because we talk about these derivatives all the time, but in general, what he's saying, guys, new coin launch, no system, no calculations, no one knows who has the money. In generally, that will get it diluted out by the richer men, and it will be unfair to a degree.
Right. So the few things about ICOs and the new project is that they start with some sort of giant amount of tokens that has some sort of value, and somebody buys it, somebody gets privileged to buy it early so that they can dump it on the later people that come afterwards, and they just have to pray that it doesn't happen. The next thing that happens is that they attempt to burn. They try to burn the quadrillion of tokens that they create, right? And so I thought that the first two things should be, number one, zero tokens in existence at the beginning of the project. Nothing. It doesn't exist. Number two, if it doesn't exist, it should have no value. Number three, the community itself should generate the tokens through the protocol for the world and for themselves. So in other words, they don't buy it from anybody. They don't get it from anybody. They literally become their own Satoshi, if you will, and they launch the minting of the crypto themselves.
That can keep launching the coin at zero. I like to ask Sam this too, and you, if you guys know, this is kind of new, I guess. But when you launch a coin at zero, depending on your, I'm not a tax advisor, by the way, but depending on your jurisdiction and depending on the legislation in your jurisdiction for many things, isn't it easier to get with something that starts at zero rather than something that kind of you're like, okay, how do we figure this out? Who's got all the liquidity here? Who's the first guy here? When it starts out at zero, at least they can see everything on the blockchain, right? And I think there is tax implication because if you want the SEC to come after you, give profit for the work of others. Like expect Jack to work and expect you to make money off Jack. And he's going to tell you that if that's his product. But that's not what he's saying here. Expectations of work of others, guys. The reason these ethoses are so important is because those are the effing rules too. Like those are the rules. Like you actually have to not get arrested. So like that's part of it too. I think I could be way off on that.
No, I think you're right. When somebody gives you something that was originally in existence before, then it's definitely feels like a share of a company, or at least a share of an idea. So with Zen, the idea itself is freely given to the people so that they can choose to participate or not. Now, the way that the protocol is designed, it's open source, it has no admin keys, it has immutable code, it cannot be stopped. So it's just simply there on blockchain. The blockchain secures it, and everyone else who connects to the protocol runs through the protocol rules themselves. So people do their own work, and should people give value to this crypto that's new, that's up to the market. So the market will discover itself. And the way that the participation and minting works is that it is kind of proof of work, except in this case, work is synonymous with the amount of time you need to wait to generate it. So when you enter the Web3 interface that we'll develop and deploy to interact with the contract. And by the way, anybody can come up with the Web3 interface. So the contract is there. So like, for example, Hedron can take your Hex and can stake it for you, right? So they did it, it works, it's open source. Same way with Zen. So what you do is you come to the interface, you connect your wallet, that's all you do, and then you tell the contract the number of days you're willing to wait. The number of days is the proof of the participation, and I guess proof of wait. After the time has passed, let's say 10 days, 30 days, 100 days, you come back to the contract and you'll say, mint me my Zen, or I'm ready for the mint. Execute the mint. The contract will calculate how many days you have truly waited and how many people have joined after you connected your wallet to the contract. And the combination of your rank, which is given, which we call crypto rank or C rank, is when you first interact with the contract as a natural number, and then the number of people joining afterwards computes the yield or generation for the Zen crypto for yourself.
So if you wait longer, presumably you're going to mint more Zen. If there was adoption after you, if more people came in after you.
Yes. So within let's say that let's say that you have established a 100-day waiting period, right? Within those 100 days, if 1,000 people come to the contract, the multiplier is about 10. It's a logarithmic function of 1,000, which is 10. So 10 times 100, you will end up with 1,000. And then we also have this thing called amplification constant, AMP. It's in the white paper. So amplification constant starts at 3,000 and decays over time, 15 points every month, I believe. So every month, it is as if the difficulty increases by those 15 points. So 3,000 times 1,000, you will end up with 3 million Zen at the end of 100-day waiting period if 1,000 people join after you. If 1 million people joins after you, the whole thing doubles.
The whole thing doubles, as in just mathematically speaking, the size of the pool is double the size?
The formula will take 1 million, which is the difference between your rank and the global rank. So global rank is how many people join after you. So if there's 1 million people jumping into the contract afterwards, after you joined, then it's a multiplier for your effort, like so to speak. So the protocol engages an individual that participates in giving them the I would say a push to invite more people into the participation within the contract so that they can actually earn more. So the more people participate, and if you actually invite those people, so you will end up benefiting. So it's like an adoption amplifier with Hex, except it never stops. So the more people you bring in, the more Zen you will mint for yourself and everyone else.
Are you with him, Sam?
Yes, I want to understand the value prop for, like, so the idea, right? Where do you see the value prop for the idea sitting in the marketplace, right? So with, say, something like Hex, right? It just allows people to take their money and stick it someplace and earn some type of yield, right? The value prop of Uniswap is the decentralization of swapping back and forth between different tokens and things like that. Where do you see this? Like, where do you see the value prop for the users?
So the value
and bigger picture too, like where do you see all this stuff? Just for me too.
Sure. So when the Bitcoin was, I guess, idealized or put on paper, they wanted it to be a peer-to-peer cash through self-custody and ownership of something that really truly belongs to you. The problem with today's crypto is that it's closely held and nobody uses it for anything but hodling. So you want to grab it, you want to lock it, you want to hold it, and then you hope for price appreciation. There is very few tokens out there, and Doge perhaps was one of the only tokens initially that people were freely giving away because it was kind of like a joke. Nobody thought it will have any value. But Doge actually played a very important role in the crypto adoption, because it can help the regular people get into crypto and understand it without losing any money. So Zen is free to mint. You're exchanging your time for the crypto itself. You can generate this crypto, give it away. You can trade it on Uniswap. You can use it as a tipping token or peer-to-peer cash, whatever you want. You can experiment with liquidity pools. You can place buy orders, limit orders. You can sell it. You can gift
What
it.
would be so from a standpoint of a lot of the people who are watching this, like, and a lot of people who just put money into crypto, they just want the number to go up and to the right.
And fair to say that 50% of the people that are putting in money don't know what the fuck's going to happen. And any insight.
But a lot of people want the price to go up and to the right. And just so at first take, it's like, okay, we have the inflation, but then there's no reason for anybody to hold. That's right. Because then they're just, okay, cool. I'll wait 100 days, right? I'll just forget about it, set it on my calendar, come back, mint my stuff, dump it, and then do it again, because I can just print money that I can just dump perpetually on other people. Right.
So let's go through a thought experiment. Let's say within the first 6 months, we get 1 million people participating, which is huge, right? In crypto, it's actually pretty large. So the number of wallets connecting to generate Zen for themselves is 1 million, and that's just 6 months. Let's say by the end of the year, it's 3 million, and then the next year, the network effect takes hold, and it becomes 10 million. So what happens is that as the world's adoption increases, the value of crypto actually increases as well. Because if you think about it, if you are a retailer or a digital retailer online and somebody holds some sort of asset that belongs to them, and there's a lot of those people out there, you can tap into those people buying potential. So Zen can be used as a layer for an economic exchange based on the fact that people own it and it becomes scarce over time. So it's true, it's inflationary, but it's also true that it is built to be disinflationary. In other words, the amplification constant will always decrease. It will be decreasing until it hits 300. So from 3,000 to 300, it's less and less and less generative when it comes to crypto emissions. And the more people join, the total number of Zen per capita is reduced. So it's inflating because it starts at 0, but it is deflating because as more people join and as more time passes, first of all, your C rank, your crypto rank, will always be higher than the previous people that joined the contract. And secondly, the time decay or the difficulty simulation, which is very, very similar to Bitcoin halvening, is built in to take effect every month. So every month, it's more difficult to mint Zen. So there is the buying pressure on the token. And the way that it works is that, imagine this. Imagine if you go to Uniswap and you say, or rather you see that you can spend $100 and you can buy 300 days worth of wait time of someone else. And you would say, sure, I'll spend $100 because I don't want to wait 300 days. What if it actually moves higher? What if there's more people joining, the difficulty is increasing? Obviously, the time is linear, so it's moving in one direction. I mean, at least in this universe. Ultimately, what happens is that there are people who are minting for free, but there will be people who will not necessarily need to wait or want to wait even a single day. They can just buy it, and they can buy it inexpensively. And the people who spend the time waiting to mint can take 15%, 10%, 20% of their free crypto, put it up for sale, and see if it actually sells. So it makes sense for some people out there to generate buying pressure simply because they wouldn't want to wait a year or 2 years or 3 years because they can just acquire it immediately.
But there's the demand piece is what's going to drive, right? In Metcalf's that you were alluding to earlier. The increase in demand for all crypto is where that, like, you're going to get that networking effect that's going to continue to
so
grow there.
So the money is flowing into crypto universe. That is a fact, right? It's not really flowing as fast as it was flowing 6 months ago, but it's still flowing. So the Bitcoin and Ethereum and everybody else, tokens adoption is basically a giant advertising system that is a global, worldwide phenomenon. So more people will be putting their money into an asset that they can truly, fully control themselves without the bank or any sort of centralized entity. That being the case, there are always going to be new users coming in, trying to get into understanding of what blockchain really means and what the economic energy represented within the blockchain means to them. Then will be, or is, the way it's written, the easiest way to on-ramp new users, because we're not taking anybody's money. So clearly, you don't have to give the money to anyone else.
Gotcha. Okay, so that right there,
I was listening, but fill me into your brain right now, Sam.
That right there is to use it as an adoption tool. If I'm like, hey, GRC, why don't you get into crypto? And you're like, bro, I have no idea what crypto is. And I was like, how about some free money? And even though it's, maybe I have no idea, we have no idea until the market tells us what the price is going to be. But, hey, why don't you do this? And in 10 days, you can get some free tokens. And then at that 10-day mark, then you can do it again and you can get some more free tokens. And you can just repeat this, or you can create 1,000 of these wallets and create this so you get, free
and
tokens.
This creates average user base rather than like super rich user base, but it's adoption based. So he's programmed in that it's adoption, and it's making it, because it's all about, like, if there's 20% slippage, rich dude's not buying it, period, end of story. So a lot of these, like I always tell people, Hedron's getting eaten up by guys like me who are like learning and changing and have money and are willing. Zen, like, for example, like something like this comes out where, I'm talking to him now, fair distribution. That sounds in any way, shape, or form in crypto really good compared to what I'm getting now, because I have to study for about 60 hours a day to front run all these motherfuckers.
Yeah, so you know how most of the crypto projects out there, people want them to pump, right? They're trying to design the pumponomics, pumpomentals, ponzonomics, whatever, right? The point is,
true. It's so true.
People are so fixated on the money, so fixated. They want to get in, they want to make a quick buck, they want it to be a casino where they can win. And that is fine. That is one way to learn, right? But in a casino, things go both ways. You win for a while, and then you get wiped out. You're wiped out, you're not coming back. So
yeah, but if you get wiped out with $74 million in your bank account, doesn't hurt so bad.
I have seen people wiped out with more.
No, I know, but it's the information that people don't know. Like, these markets are predictable to a degree, but they're predictably going to drop 95% in your face.
Absolutely.
But that part nobody understands. How could I teach a young man that? It's impossible.
The thing is, anytime you buy anything for dollars that you have earned yourself by trading your time and producing something useful in the world, you're running a risk. You're running a risk of losing that money, no matter what, right? The only time that it is impossible for you to lose anything is when it's given to you for free and has a value that is very, very low. And so Zen protocol have been designed to pump the community itself. So if Zen becomes number 3 crypto in the world, let's say after Bitcoin and Ethereum, let's just imagine that that's the case, right? That actually means that the community is ginormous. It's huge, right? And it's huge because it gives people ability to get into crypto, to get into blockchain without spending any money. So all they would need to do is spend a little bit of gas. And that is almost an oxymoron in the crypto world today. And so I thought, what if we take the first principles of crypto, design the protocol, and have people just play with it, and see where the community itself takes the value. So it's like going ICO, except it's not your project, but the whole world is your project. Everyone gets a chance to mint their own crypto and then do whatever the hell they want with it. And
This is a very interesting.
Do you see? Oh, my bad. Sorry, I didn't get it.
You're good.
I was going to say, do you see why if somebody else I didn't respect was saying this, I would think they were an idiot? But I respect Jack. That's all I wanted to say about like founder. It's like please have a project that people are willing to see you in before you make that project.
It's about people's motivations. So when anybody wants to launch anything, launch a company, they want it to be profitable. It's a for-profit venture, right? Anybody who is launching new crypto, they want it to be profitable for themselves, for their friends, first and foremost. This is different because it's open source. It's true blockchain technology. It allows anybody to be the builder of the community themselves. And that is different. And this is something that is non-profit. I don't expect personally to make profit from it because I have no bags to hold that I'm holding. But
just be clear about that, because somebody's going to probably think that. So let's just state it up front.
Yeah, probably.
You're not getting any pre-mine. You're not raising money for this. This is all just talk about that for a second, because somebody's going to be thinking that.
Sure. So the way that the protocol is designed, it starts at zero. So
people are excited about. Sorry, the price of Hedron is apparently going berserk right now, and people are very excited about.
And
this
is a good way. And I'm going to let him finish on that. But this is a good way to show. Jack's kind of telling us. Jack's way richer than me. And he's in a way different spot than me. So he's not going to present information the same way as me. And he knows that probably. And Sam knows that. So Hedron in real time is blowing off top like we knew it would because of the calculation of it. But it's also because of human ignorance to a degree. Really, so I'm excited about the money, right? I'm like, yeah, look at me. But it took me 20 hours a day of studying and not listening to a damn person on this earth other than like two people to get to that information. So I wanted to say, like, this is kind of what's wrong with crypto. In the same time, I'm really excited about it, but this does not lead to forever. In my opinion, this kind of price movement, it's just great to capitalize on.
Price volatility is a feature of new technology. So it's a new technology that has a value. It has marketing elements, buying pressure, selling pressure. Everything comes in waves. With Zen, it's a little bit different. It's different that the founding team is a true foundation that has no tokens to begin with. We are part of the community, and we'll let the community build the value the way it's really meant to be, or the way that Satoshi has envisioned it. And so I thought, Satoshi definitely was an outlier out of all of us, right? Not anybody who necessarily wanted to make millions. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen to his wallets. And definitely it was an experiment when he pre-mined. In this particular case, I thought, what if anybody could be Satoshi today? What would they do better? And the way to do it better is simply not pre-mine or pre-mint and let the community do all the work for the community itself. So technically, the whole thing is kind of a game, and in this game, you get your own tokens for participation within the game. Bringing new people into the protocol will actually mint you more tokens. And so the network effect is expected to take hold, and millions of wallets are expected to connect.
Okay, so this is interesting because I wanted to ask you how you see the vision of this, right? So if you have something where I know about it, where I can go and create a wallet and just get free tokens, it might be dust to start with, but it could grow over time. We don't know, right? But then I do have at least some incentive to do the things that founders are doing, in the sense that if I'm creating a token, the people that are closest to me are going to have inside knowledge of that token. And if I have the knowledge about how to get free money, there's a decent chance I'm probably going to tell other people that are close to me how they can get free money too. And that could be very viral in the sense. The thing that I'm struggling with here is, yes, free money is awesome, but there's no point in holding it, right? And I know this is the antithesis, right? Like you're like, that was the fucking point of it, bro. Like I get that, I understand that, but
well, let's actually play with this question a little bit. Let's say that you have minted a million Zen for yourself. You have no reason to hold it, so you give it to 10 of your best friends. And one of those people actually somehow designs a system, because he's a genius, and gives value to Zen just through adoption. So some sort of it could be an NFT game, it could be he could know some other entity out there that looks at Zen and gives it value just through adoption and usability. So you have inadvertently triggered a worldwide reaction to have Zen be accepted by the world as a useful token of utility, right? Now imagine yourself times a million, right? So a million times 10, that's a huge network effect. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to tap into the collective genius of the world and give the value that can be exchanged for services, and have people come up with all kinds of different ways to do it. But the initial distribution is free. Now, mind you, given that you have a million Zen, you don't have to give it all away. It didn't cost you anything to make it. So why would you not just keep it?
yes,
Right? You can keep some of it, you can keep some of it away, but you will help other people to get into blockchain that is free to you, right? And totally beneficial to them.
So this is I love the distribution of this, and with what you were just saying. So a question for you, and then I want to hear what your thoughts are and ideas around this. Are you planning to build anything on top of this mechanism for distribution? Because this is a novel way to distribute something that we haven't seen. There's been multiple different ways of, giving inflation to people in a sense.
Okay, so let's have this thought experiment. Let's say that I'm a DeFi protocol designer, whatever the DeFi protocol might be. I need to choose which tokens my protocol will be accepting. So if Zen has 10, 15, 20 million users, it's going to be on my list as a DeFi driver for my future protocol. So I could come up with some sort of other thing out there that I'm going to call by a different name. But Zen could be the on-ramp for all the 20 million wallets out there to get into my protocol. So, and that's just one idea. There could be many different ways that the blockchain code can launch, or different projects launch, that will use Zen as an on-ramp, just because it's so easy to get and virally dispersed. That is why Doge is accepted by AMC and Chipotle. There's
and Tesla even takes it for their accessory store.
Yeah, and Tesla. I mean, there's plenty of users out there. Like,
You go to
imagine
Japan
if
and get pulled over, you could swipe any goddamn crypto you got on your phone to pay that ticket. I'll tell you that. They'll make it accessible too, because if they can extract value from you quickly, better believe those more strict markets will do that.
So if we succeed in building crypto that is the most liquid and the most approachable, easiest to use, then the adoption will be just as viral as the rest of it.
That's fascinating. I love that. I love that concept. On the personal side, are you thinking about building anything on top of this to kind of add some, accelerant to this, right?
Absolutely. I do have big plans for it. So and again, I'm taking this upside down or having an upside down approach. Usually it's top to bottom. So you build it and they come. I want them to come before I build it. So I like to launch it from the bottom up approach where the free crypto is out there. And once I build another system that will accept it, the value will actually start moving higher for it as well. So I can't say what it is yet because it's still in the works, but it's likely going to be an element of a DeFi protocol that will take this free crypto and give it meaning, like so to speak. And then the goal of the foundation is to tell others that it can be done. Because if we build the crowd that owns millions of Zen, there's millions of people using it, just being an owner gives it value.
Yes. Okay. So that's fascinating. As soon as you said that, I was like, I mean, when I do something, whether it's a new business or something, I like there to be success, whether it's a new friendship or something like that, whether it's business or something like more intangible, like a relationship. I want that to be successful.
Well, here's like another thing. Let's say Elon Musk decides to come up with crypto. Would you buy it?
Depends on what it is.
I would say for us, it's probably a little hair different because we're freaks of nature who just look at the white paper and calculate everything. But for the average person, I would say yes, they would buy everything that Elon said out of his mouth immediately.
Okay, well, he was able to sell the flamethrower that was not a flamethrower, right? I mean, who needs that, right? Nobody.
That sounds lit.
Right? I mean,
I would like one.
Now, look, I want one too. I mean, I'm sorry, it's all sold out. But anyway, if he designs crypto and calls it not crypto, I'll be buying it. Right?
Just off of speculation value alone.
No, just off the fact that other people will be buying it too, and it's going to have value.
Yeah.
Right. So
and do you think your name has something very important to do with this? This is a personal question, and I'm not. It's only because your reputation has been, solid as. I've never seen anyone say anything bad about you, and that's rare. That's very rare. So your reputation, what you've built over the last however many years, your success story. Is that a crux? And this is important to talk about because you don't necessarily have the coins, but you are a person and you have a face and you have people that know you. So where I know you're keeping your funds out of it as far as the coins are concerned, but how much weight do you feel like a project should have based on the owner rather than the mechanics alone? Because, the reason that you're here is because I think you're smart.
Okay, well, here's the thing. The only reason why anybody talked to me on Twitter is because they were questioning whether I bought all of my Twitter followers. Right? And a lot of people didn't even believe that I was a Googler. And so I posted some pictures where I would say, here's a server rack I built, and it's the Computer History Museum, and I'm pointing at it. Here's a picture of me standing next to Larry Page and Sergey, right? So those are true facts. And the thing is, yes, it amplifies me being accepted by the crowd as a person that at least the name matches the personality, like so to speak, right? Now, is it helpful to launch new projects with a name like this? Absolutely, because it opens doors. So I'm not shy about saying that if I was a nobody, my job would have been 1,000 times harder, right?
Possible, though. You're saying it would be possible, and I agree.
Yeah. So at the same time, I want to be very careful about how I do this. In other words, I do not want to take people's money because my reputation is very important to me. I want to be reputable for a while, so to speak. So that is why I thought I'm going to come up with crypto that's not really crypto, but it is crypto, kind of like the Elon Musk style, flamethrower, not a flamethrower. I mean, it's outrageously ridiculous. Crypto that has no value, it has no pre-mint, it has no investors. Like, what am I doing? Why am I doing it, right? So
I see that as like profitable marketing in the sense, and I've been having this conversation for some friends in business where I think that piece is underutilized as a marketing mechanism, right? Because if you have some level of goodwill in the marketplace, if you can do something where it's very limited supply of widgets, whatever that fucking widget is, and sell that to people, but it has to be slightly out there, or just, it doesn't even have to, because they also sold 250,000 boring company hats, right? So they've done this, and then the tequila, the $250 bottle of Tesla tequila, right? So I've been thinking about how to implement this as using this mechanism, right? Because it's profitable marketing. It's a way to just market your shit where right? We're literally talking about it here because it's so unique, right? A way to get somebody to say, buy these cups. Like, I have a company that does X, Y, and Z. This is completely off kilter of like what we do as a company, but there's a limited supply of 1,000 of these cups, and it says like weird shit on the inside of it, and X, Y, and Z, or it's in the case of the crypto, it's distributed in a certain way. So the mechanism for adoption, or I calling it marketing in business, and crypto we just call it adoption, is unique. And what you're talking about with Zen is fascinating. The initial glance is like, okay, cool. Well, there's no cool. I'll get free crypto, and then I'll just dump it and put it into something else that has value, and then we carry on the conversation. And having a way to distribute something in this manner, where anybody can participate, is fascinating.
It's fascinating just from the point that you can say that too. Like, just like Sam was kind of saying, you can just like, that exists. Like,
well, here's the beauty about blockchain, and that's where the paradigm shift exists that a lot of people probably don't realize. Let's say that I say all those things, I write the white paper, and then you believe me, right? You believe me that everything that I say is true. However, what if now you look at the Ethereum mainnet and you look at the code and you see it there, and you know that this code is true. You know it's been audited, and I don't have to convince you that everything that the code does. I have removed the necessity of you having faith in me doing the right thing, because blockchain backs it up. And blockchain backs it up through the crowd of miners and stakers and so on and so forth. So that's where the paradigm shift is. So I can take the white paper, convince you that it is true, and then make it true by the nature of the blockchain itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's adoption versus tokenomics 101 in a bloodbath. And I'm not saying the tokenomics don't work out. I'm just saying, in general, other people are going to say, okay, Jack's doing this thing. I'm going to make something that pumps so hard that you won't even look at what he's doing. And that's kind of the battle, right? But adoption always prevails in crypto. It's about adoption. It's about people, human blood bodies, buying, clicking, computer.
It's all about people, and that's where I see the value. So a lot of people see the value in the dollar signs. I see the value in the people and the community. So if we can rally people into first principles of crypto, they understand it, they believe it, they propagate it, the whole world will rally in understanding what crypto and blockchain really is, and the value comes from that.
Now watch this real quick. Let me blow your brain. I will accept $100,000 from you to do a marathon stream on Zen when it comes out. Let's say in a world where nobody's watching this and they don't know us, and I obviously wouldn't do that. Where does that come into play? Where does it come into play that you have, and I'm just talking, you have money, right? I don't, right? Like if I had 100 grand, I'd be pumped so I could get a studio. Okay. So if you pay me with the money in your safe right now to go home and to shill this project till the end of time, because you just gave me more money than I would have seen in the year, is that the same thing? Is it just?
It is not the same. It is not the same.
Is that illegal? Is that illegal?
No, it's not illegal. It's not illegal because I do not get the benefit. Like I do not, like before launch, I have no tokens. So I can do whatever I want. I can give up my whole net worth and promote it, and it will not be illegal.
That's bullish.
So if I wanted to, right?
Right, of course.
Could somebody go through and put a time on there that says, 12 years down the road, or is there a time cap on that?
There's a time cap of 100 days initially. Once 5,000 people join the protocol, the time cap expands to 300. Eventually, it will move to almost 500 days in terms of the duration of the mint. Now, the interesting part that we haven't even talked about yet is that Zen protocol has built-in staking. So in other words, once you mint your Zen, you can stake it for 20%.
So that would have been a nice thing to know.
That's what the user. You see how Jack's playing this though? It's great. He's like, get in and learn, but I'm not going to tell you. Like it's like the ethos you're going about it. Like you could tell everyone about the percentages right off the jump, right? Well, you could be like, you could get 20% on free coins, and this is how you could project that into the world.
So here's the thing. Zen initial ethos was education. It's an educational crypto that people don't have to lose their shirt getting educated. It's free crypto that you can learn and doing all kinds of things. Like you can learn to stake things without losing anything. So we build in the staking protocol that will allow you to mint and stake, or mint and then stake half of it for any number of days afterwards once you have it. So
any number of days. And where does the 20% come from?
It comes from the protocol. So the 20% literally comes from the fact that once you stake your Zen, let's say that it's 100 Zen coins you're staking. In a year, you're taking back 120. 20%. Now, should you
inflation rate?
But where does that 20% come from, though?
The protocol makes it. It's the same as minting, except you're using the Zen you have to mint more through the APY. Now, let's say that you want to unstake. There's no penalties. So you decide to stake for 365 days. Tomorrow, you decide that it's no longer fun. It's been a day. It's been two. You unstake. You unstake for free. No penalties. You just do not get the APY.
So and do people choose a specific term length?
That's right. So you can choose up to 1,000 days.
And if you choose to stop beforehand, you just get your principal back.
Exactly. There's no penalties or any sort of reduction. The only thing you do not get if you don't hold it to maturity is the APY. Now, the protocol function, you asked, like, where is this coming from? It's literally coming from the mint function. So the function looks, or the code looks at the number of tokens that you have staked. It looks at the number of days. And then when you unstake, it will say, okay, this person has agreed to do it for 180 days. That means 10% on 100 that they have staked. So
okay. So it's basically the minting of tokens through staking. Is that accurate understanding of that?
Exactly. So everything that you get as an APY, even with hacks, is mint. Now, when you stake Zen, this 100 coins that you stake get burned. It gets burned, reduces the float, or reduces the total number of tokens. The contract will record an IOU that it owes back to your wallet when you're ready to take it back. If you take it back the next day, the contract simply remints whatever it burned from you. If you wait until the maturity, it pays you that plus interest.
Fascinating. Okay, so that is the thing that a lot of people, at least who watch this, are going to be fascinated by, right? Earning 20% annually. Is that a rate that is for perpetuity, or is that something that tapers down over time? Every
90 days, this rate drops 1%.
I'm going to get so involved. It's going to be ridiculous. I'm actually streaming in 15 minutes, and I don't even like to give too much. That was so beautiful of an episode for me. Like, I listened to more in that episode than I have in a while, and I'm a freak. I can't listen. But I can only listen to Sam like on a one-on-one conversation. Everything else, I'm just like Jack, I want to thank you so much for coming on here. You've been nothing but a class act, and that's all I can really ask for. So many people in the crypto community, well, it's all scammy, right? Like nobody has money, nobody has self-worth, and nobody has what they want in this world. I think you should find those things before you invent. You know what I mean? I think you should find those. Make sure you look in the mirror and you're so fucking proud, at least somewhat proud. You know, it's sometimes hard for me to be super proud of myself, but you need to know that you're a leader if you want to build like that. You know what I mean? It's a leadership role. And you can decide to. Richard played it in a different way. It sounds like you got some distribution method ideas from learning all these systems as well, of course, just by being involved. Distribution ideas, right? Like the Pulse airdrop starts at 0. So I kind of learned that from that. And this, you know, Richard's out there learning too. We're all here learning. And Richard is. And I wanted to say there is a lot of differences between the project, and you're highlighting that a little bit with it's like you're almost highlighting some of that. And I think that's important to know. So I'm going to let Sam go before we wrap up. Just remember, in 13 minutes, I'm streaming. That's the only reason I want.
Cool. Okay. Well, I would say in conclusion that it is exactly like the Bitcoin was meant to be. Bitcoin was free initially. So you download an exe or a piece of code, you double click it, you generate and mint free Bitcoin for yourself. It was all done before. So it's not the original idea, right? The only difference is that it comes as a fair launch, and it gives people a chance to participate and join and think about strategies even before the project launches, so that there's no stampede and, you know, weirdness and this sort of, you know, fear of missing out. This is not what I want. I want it to launch on a nice long runway, but it will be one of those ginormous planes that slowly gathers speed, and once it flies, it reaches the stratosphere and goes into the orbit.
I love it. When is the
you want the price of your coin to actually go up because of mass adoption, and only that, because that's the only way it's fair.
Mass adoption is the only way it's fair, and
I just figured that out in my head. That's crazy shit, because these are all like really nuanced concepts, but they're oh so clear when you figure them out. They're oh so clear. You know, like it's really just A plus B equals C. And if in some projects are going to do a couple of those things different, there's centralized ownership is a play, and you can make the price pump a lot and not do anything wrong. But what do we see? Human beings involved. And I'm not saying anything about, there's projects that have made people so rich that if you want to talk shit about them, go the fuck ahead. You know what I mean? Like, I'll laugh all day long while my Hedron bags go to berserk. And that's just because that's dope. And we've been studying that stuff for a long time. But at the same time, I love to think about the future. I daydream, not for my life in particular, but it's like a game. You can see it before it happens. And it happens over and over. The technology pieces just change. But the humans, they're always the same. The humans remain the same, and they're gullible. But you can do it in a way that makes them write books about you when you die.
Let's empower the humans.
When is the launch date, real quick?
End of September. Once we pass the audit, and if they don't find anything really bad, we'll be able to launch by the end of the month. Now, the code is super simple. It is low gas, brain dead simple. And the reason why it's simple, it doesn't have the pump and dump mechanism in it. It doesn't need to, right? It's just pure open source. Anybody can take pieces of code with it, launch their own projects. It's educational. That's what open source and blockchain were meant to be from the beginning. We're just coming back to the roots, and we want to have mass adoption with this project.
I love it. This is awesome. Hey, as we get closer towards the end of the month, if you want to go through the audit, and talk about what it is or anything, I'm assuming if it's you're basically segmenting out the piece of that is inflation related and all the other fluff on top of it. You're like, that doesn't matter. That can be built post launch, right? In the sense, and that way it's a pure sense of like, just this is inflation period. This is the spigot. This is where you go to all the other stuff you can tack on top of that from many different angles, and the ecosystem can do that. I don't necessarily need to be the person who does that. I will maybe, but the people involved can actually build all that kind of stuff. GRC is waiting to get off of here.
No. I feel like I took psychedelic mushrooms or something. Like, I feel like I learned a lot, and like, it's just, you wake up to things over time, it has nothing to do with people lying. I'm not, to be honest, is that my relationship with this community has been, the first 250 days was pure dopamine and euphoria. If you want me to be honest, I couldn't even sleep. I was so excited, and I didn't get anything from it, really. But that's, that was I'm an idiot. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, our next stream, let's talk about psychedelics.
Yes.
Or why don't I legally purchase some and do them while we talk? Because you can legally purchase them. And you can. It's legal. You can buy it right from the store down here. Mushrooms.
And where is there?
DC.
Okay.
So anyone who wants mushrooms, come over to GRC's. I'm just kidding. You can only do it. Just kidding, guys. Please do not do drugs. It's seriously, drug abuse is detrimental extremely. If you are going to do stuff, please contact your doctor first. That would be ideal. Guys, this has been incredible. I'm so excited. Now I have more excitement in my heart while my hedron bags explode. And I have hex stakes for the future, and I get to stream every day. So life is freaking good over here, guys. And I got a shitty ass car and nothing to my name, and I love it. Fun. Guys, thank you so much, Jack. Oh my God. Tell them how much I've been pestering you. I shoot him around. I keep him wanting to come on the show, even when he's on vacay.
Well, your DMs are always welcome. So anytime.
Hey, guys, Mom, look at me now, Mom. He said he has friends from Stanford. Look at me now, Mom. Everybody have a great day. This has been incredible. Crypto in the morning. My bad. We're still live. I got to press the right button.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hex and I'm making a state. Got me some hedge and I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Gym ready set me to show you the way.